Hey,
How are
I
you
am
doing?
wonderful. I've been looking at this.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that we're finally getting the opportunity to chat with you here. So let's kick it off. Let's kick it off. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely, I would love to. And just thank you. I just want to say thank you for so much. I've enjoyed this series. I'll tell if I can tell a story at some point throughout, but I'll tell you about myself. But I just remember when we were sitting in Miami a couple years ago having breakfast, and you were telling me about this vision of
Yeah.
doing content series. So I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited to be here with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you, Erica. Thank you. And you know what? I know that, it's taking us a bit to get you on the schedule. So I'm glad that you're here. So let's have
So
a
let me
conversation. Yeah, about you.
let's talk about me a little bit. My ancestors' wildest dreams, and I'm so grateful to be sitting in the legacy of my ancestors. I'm my mother's and father's middle daughter. So hello, Dad. I know he's watching. Hello, heavenly hello to my mother. I'm a big sister. So hello to LaShondra and Cara. I'm a little sister. So hello to Stephanie. I'm an auntie. Hello, Taylin. I'm a great auntie. Hello, Rylan, and hello, Jalen. I'm a friend. I'm not going to get in trouble by trying to name off all of my friends. I am a mentor. You are one of my mentors, so thank you for that. Thank you to Michelle Berg for also being one of my longtime mentors. I am a mentor, so hello to Sushant, and hello to Aaron, who I know is watching as well. I am a hip hop head. I love hip hop, new school and old school. And I'm a marketer to all of my friends at Public Label, which is the new brand that I'm working with, and all of my old friends from MKTG and all of my clients. Hello. I am currently in Kansas City, Missouri with my family. So I'm also a rabid Kansas City fan, and just having fun right now, having a great summer.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, Erica, let's talk a little bit about how you started off your career. You started off on the agency side. Tell us how you got that start.
Yeah, so I'll take you back a little bit further. So I actually started doing event production and working and putting together these moments of live inspiration when I was in third grade. When my sisters and I had a little band on our block in Kansas City, Missouri, many moons ago. My older sister is very musically inclined. My little sister is just cute, and she still is to this day. And I didn't have the musical talents to be a part of the band, but you know what I really love to do? I love to figure out where our little stage was going to be. And I love to set the chairs up for when the parents would come in to watch us perform. I love doing the little flyers and making sure that, the musical musicians at that time, my little friends, had the space to create and entertain. And I like being the one who had all the answers to the questions. What time, where, when, how, what are we going to do? I love doing that part. I love being the organizer. And even to this day, my sister and I are planning to do this a little event at the house. And she said, you're going too far. Slow down. It's just a little thing that we're doing here. But I love the art of building out the spectacle and bringing people into that.
That's great. So, wow. So you've been operations driven since you were a little kid.
Since I was a little kid. And it's been following me ever since, with my church, with Girl Scouts, through high school, elementary school, college. When I was in college, I pledged Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So hello to all my sorors. And that was the role that I fell into. I would organize all of our step shows and all of our events. And I just loved it, Elisa. I love putting things together that bring folks around a point of, if that's sport, if that's music, if that's fashion, if that's culinary, whatever passion point is that brings people together. I love doing that. And I've been very blessed throughout my career to be able to do that on college campuses, which is where I started off at Missouri State University and then went on to Arizona State University and worked in that. And then in 1996, there were the Olympics, and that was the first Olympics for the female athlete. And after that, they announced that the WNBA would be starting. And I said to myself, as a former athlete, I ran track in college and had a lot of fun and was very blessed to be a part of that. But when they announced the WNBA, I said, oh my gosh, that's what I want to do. I want to be a part of that. And I was very, very blessed to be hired as the first public relations, media relations, and community relations director for the WNBA. Back then, we wore triple hats to launch the league, and that was so exciting. And it's exciting sitting in my place right now. It's just celebrating 25 years of still doing great work and how many wonderful opportunities that women on the court, off the court, around the court, have had because of the WNBA. I then launched into working in entertainment, working in sponsorship with entertainment, and then started working with an agency. And what I really learned with working with an agency is that no 2 days are alike. I love the dynamic nature of it. I love working with multiple clients around their understanding what their problems are, what their business challenges are, and working with a group of people to help bring resolution to those business challenges. And most importantly, I love being around all that youthful, creative energy that you get in an agency. And I've been very, very fortunate to work with some really cool, fun, creative young people. I used to be one of those young people, but no more. I'm on the other side now, and I've accepted my role with that. It's a fun life. It's been a fun career, and all the many hats and roles that I get to play and to be involved in. It's been a lot of fun. If today were my last day on earth, Elisa, tell them I was happy. Tell them.
No, I know. I definitely know that for sure. And you're definitely very passionate about everything that you do. And I remember when you and I met many, many, many years ago, not to date ourselves, but I just remember that, the team that you worked on, you guys always stayed ahead of what we were thinking. So, Erica, what's that process like to stay ahead of what your clients' needs are and anticipating them before the client even realizes that they need it?
Yeah, we have all of the groups that I've worked with, including Public Label, where I am right now. We really rely on tracking trends, motivating trends, understanding what those cultural movements are, where the brands are, what the space that those brands are working within, and really understanding what those key insights are. And everything is based on research and understanding the insights and really what's happening within culture. What is driving people to really, really move and those cultural movements and what's motivating people to really move in that direction, either to purchase a product, to shift their habits, to indulge in a new practice or a new activity based on what our brands are, but really understanding what those key insights are and staying ahead of that. But really, culture is such a driving force behind where, especially in the world that I work in, and that's working with brands to bring their brand voice, their brand message, their brand campaign to life through live experiences, through the experiential lens. And that's really understanding kind of those cultural moments where that brand really helped to propel, and encourage movement and action on behalf of that consumer. So just, really working with some very smart research and analysts and strategists, which I love getting in the room with strategists and really talking about the why, the first why, and then the second why, and then the third why, and then developing that strategic approach that we can apply to whatever that brand is or that partner that we're working with. But it always starts with a very solid and sound strategy.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And Erica, the other thing that I was going to ask now, you have the foundation, the research, the solid strategy. And as you're thinking along how things have changed in the last year and a half with this pandemic, now that it seems like we're coming out of it, what do you think are the trends that marketers really need to keep their eye on just in terms of live consumer experiences?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple of things. The first thing is there's no longer only going to be a physical only experience. It is how do we share that happening, that spectacle, as I called it earlier. How do we take this that's happening within this space, what this select group of people who are there, attendees, and how do we get others who cannot join that space either for their own personal personal safety or health or just restrictions on the number of folks that can have within that venue. How do we take what's happening within that space and project it and allow other people to be involved in it? And that really starts in the the invitation. How do the engagement, the awareness, what's happening? How can we allow folks who are not in that physical space to influence what's happening within that physical space? And there's a lot of fun things that you can do, and social media is such a wonderful tool when used appropriately to help drive that as well. And then it's also the post, because whatever that experience is that we've built and that spectacle that we've built and that brand message and that brand event that we've built, we want those consumers that we pulled into it or those attendees that we pulled into it to stay engaged. And that's really that post. How do we get you more engaged into, if it's a cultural movement or if it is the next iteration of that event, or how can we connect you with other community members that also believe in this passionate moment to stay connected and continue that conversation and influencing how you take that brand or that sponsor, if you will, or that client, and take that along your journey with you as you continue to indulge with that particular brand, product, or service. So I believe that you have to have a very, very well thought out pre, during, and post consumer journey that keeps that cyclical process going.
Yeah, that's great. And so I don't want to put you on the spot, but what has been your favorite brand activation to date?
Oh, wow. Well, I talked to you about my first production in third grade. That always, it's not the foundation for me. But I would say, helping to be a part of launching the WNBA was so special. Mm-hmm. To sit back and look at, Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper and, Nancy Lieberman Klein and Jennifer Gillum and even Val Ackerman as our fearless leader at that time. And, all of that everything that went into making the fans be a part of the experience, making the players be accessible, giving those young girls and young boys the opportunity to see something that they likely had not seen before, and heroes, on the court and doing wonderful things and working together. And that part for me was just so, it still is. I remember Cheryl Miller, who was our coach with the Phoenix Mercury back in those days, being in the huddle that first game. And she's like, if you're not excited to be a part of this right now, you don't deserve to be here. And of course, they go out, the Mercury went out and won the game and blew and the fans, we sold out the arena, which was amazing. And the players stayed for hours after the game to sign autographs and meet and greet with the fans. But that was a wonderful experience to be a part of. I also had a tremendous opportunity to work with the United States Olympic Committee through the Sochi and the London Games, and to be able to work with those athletes and really put them on a stage where those in America could really get to know them in between those Olympic Games and understand their sport and understand their journey to get to that point in their representation of the United States. And to shut down Times Square twice is a in itself, but I can claim to do that in a very positive way. I had permits to be able to do that, but just, you know, when a client says to you, "Thank you, wow, I had no idea it would be this great and this phenomenal," that's a joy and certainly a goal that all of us who work within event production or experiential world, that's what we push for all the time. And I've been very blessed to do that. But I hope, Elisa, I have yet to accomplish my greatest event, my greatest activation. I'm working with a wonderful team at Public Label that are wonderful creatives, our model of engaging with our client roster is really strong, and I love working with the folks there. But I hope that I have yet to even experience the tip of the spear of what's to come.
Well, we'll be cheering you on. And as we close this up, Erica, what would be 3 career insights that you would share with the audience today based on your experience?
Well, I'm going to go back to some coaching. My first coach gave me, who was my dad, gave me many years ago. And he told my sisters and I this pretty much every day of our lives. I used to tease that there were rules on the refrigerator that this is what Calhoun women do. And one of those is don't be regular. Why? Why would you want to be regular when you can be extraordinary? But to be extraordinary takes extraordinary effort. It takes commitment. It takes it takes outworking. When everyone is sleeping, you are working, so outworking everyone else. But don't be regular. Don't settle for mediocrity. And I have lived by that. The other is to operate in excellence in all things that you do. If that's personal, if that's professional, if that is with, you know, in a formal setting, if that's an informal setting, and it is to operate in excellence. And I don't know if you can see my posters on the wall here, but the hustle, execution, and grind, that's my mantra. I believe in that, and that's how I lead my teams and encourage my teams every single day. And lastly, but most importantly, Lisa, it is have fun. Enjoy what you do. Your legacy should be that someone was better because of their engagement with you than before. And I really believe in that. And I've been impacted and affected like yourself and others that I've crossed their path and who have crossed my path. But it is just have fun, leave a smile on their face. My grandmother, heavenly hello to my grandmother, and she used to say this, tell me all the time, and my sisters, and I watched her. I watched how she operated and how she interacted with others, and she ran a small business for over 50 years of her life, and she was always kind and patient, and she looked people in the eye, and she smiled, and she says, your smile could change somebody's life. You never know what folks are going through. And
I know.
Yeah, and the only effort it takes is a smile. But what I learned by watching my grandmother and other women and men in my life was make it genuine. Give them a genuine. Yeah. Take time for others, listen, and that what you deposit in other people will certainly be given back to you.
That's awesome. Well, that is a perfect way to close our conversation today, Erica. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And Erica, just know we'll be cheering you on. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.